All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019, and we just finished with Week 13 of the NFL. And of course, now it is time for Week 14, so we're going to go over our Week 14 NFL pick'em. A little bit about last week. It was a crazy week, lots and lots of upsets. Some crazy teams won, like the Bengals won, the Dolphins beat the Eagles, the Redskins beat the Panthers. So it was a pretty crazy upset week, which resulted in me going 9-7 in my personal pick'em. Not the greatest week, but you know, it happens from time to time, especially later in the season when upsets start happening, when teams start playing spoiler. Teams are looking ahead of who they're playing, and you know, they underestimate opponents. So it's not uncommon to see upsets this time of the season. And so you know, keep that in mind when we go over our Week 14 NFL picks. Again, Week 13, not the greatest week, above 500, 9-7. Let's see if we can improve on that very dramatically. Let's hope anyway. So let's get started. Week 14 of the NFL. Of course, there's no more bye weeks for the rest of the NFL season. So this is the last week I'll even include this slide. So every team's had a bye week, so no more. Don't have to worry about it, and we can just, you know, it's just normal football from here on out. So yeah, that's it with the bye weeks. Let's go right into a Thursday night football, which is sort of a boring game as the Dallas Cowboys head to Chicago to play the Bears. Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites with an over-under of 43. All these lines were taken Tuesday morning from FanDuel, so if they're different or a little bit off by what they were right now, that's because I took my lines down this morning, and this is what they were to FanDuel. Let's see. Bears and both of these teams have underperformed to what everybody expected them to be this season. Both are 6-6. Cowboys, of course, are in first place. The Bears are in third, and kind of seem like the playoff hopes are all but lost. The Bears are coming off of a win, but that's against Detroit, who is one of the worst teams in the league, sadly. So I really wouldn't count Mitch's performance against Detroit, a team he's destroyed in the last few years, as any kind of indication he's turning it around. I expect the Cowboys to kind of do what other teams have done to Mitch Trubisky and make him look really bad in this game. I expect the Cowboys to kind of come out with a refocused energy. I kind of expect them to come out and take it out on a team that's not necessarily as good as the other teams that they've been playing, like the Bills, the Patriots. You know, the Bears have a similar, you know, they have a good defense, but they can be beaten. And I don't know. I just don't trust Trubisky to do much against Dallas's defense, which isn't that good. It's a little bit of an overrated unit, but it's Mitchell Trubisky, so. It's like, yeah, you look good against the Lions, but they have like the 29th ranked defense, so it's not that impressive. Cowboys should win this game. I think they win by a score of 23-14, simply because I just don't trust the Bears' offense. Next games, we have nine 1 p.m. games, so we have some fun ones to go over. Some dumb ones like this one. Green Bay is taking on the Redskins. Packers are 13-point favorites with an over-under of 42.5. Most of the 42 is going to have to come from the Packers, as I think the Packers will win this game like 35-10 roughly. It's going to be a lot like when Green Bay played the Giants. They're just going to destroy them. So not much to say here. The Redskins might score a touchdown. This game, there's really, as much as I love the Lions, they're another 3-9 team. Another, you know, with the Cardinals, the Redskins, the Jets. It's like all these teams are all in the same breath. The Lions are in there. So the Minnesota Vikings are, of course, they're 8-4. Sorry about that. Their record is incorrect on here. They're 8-4. The Vikings are. I haven't updated. I made the PowerPoint before the game finished. So whatever. So Vikings are 13.5-point favorites, very accurate. 42.5 was the over-under, and that's really, there's not much to say here. Vikings have a very dominant defensive front that's going to give Detroit fits all day. They probably won't have Stafford. It's in Minnesota. There's not much there. This isn't a bad, this is another one of those games with a 3-9 team, but the other team isn't that good, and this is the one where I could see a lot of people picking the Falcons because it's the Panthers versus the Falcons in Atlanta. The Falcons are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. I disagree with the Falcons being the favorites here because they really don't. I mean, they have a couple wins this season and they're kind of scattered throughout the season. They haven't looked consistently good on any kind of a game-to-game basis. They have one fluky win over the Saints. That's like their only good impressive win this year. I personally still think the Panthers are a good football team. They just, their quarterback is hurt and they're dealing with some random other problems. Mainly just the quarterback thing is bugging them. They need Cam back. But I don't know. I didn't really look too hard into this game. I have a general rule on this channel is I don't pick the Falcons to win games anymore. They fucked me over. They were supposed to go 12-4, but their secondary can't play defense. Matt Ryan turned into a joke. The whole team's a joke, and I just don't pick them to win games. Even if they're favored to win, I will not pick the Falcons. That's just a thing I do. Now, this is one of the best games of the week. The San Francisco 49ers taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Both teams are 10-2. This should probably be the game of the week. I know Baltimore and Buffalo will challenge for that, but this is going to be a really fun game. And when you really come down to it, both teams have very strong defenses. Both teams have very capable offenses. Both very well coached. So there's not really a natural advantage to any situation. You would probably go, well, I like the 49ers defense a little bit more than the Saints defense. Fair. But I also like the Saints offense more than the 49ers offense. Fair to me as well. So it's one of those things where everything sort of counterbalances each other, and it's very hard to come down to who's going to win this game because you've got the home. You can give a couple points in favor of New Orleans for being home. If it was in San Francisco, you'd throw the points the other way. So the home field advantage is going to make a difference. This is going to be a tough place for the 49ers to come play. They haven't gone to a place like San Francisco or to New Orleans yet. They haven't played in that dome building where it gets real loud, real tough to play. One of the things I think is going to be the major influencer of this game will come down to who's going to, and like when the teams are this, when it feels like an evenly matched game like this, and even everything seems to be like who's gonna win, what's it gonna come down to? I think this game comes down to who's going to make the mistake. Who's going to fumble it, who's going to get strip sacked, who's going to throw a costly interception, who's going to, turn what team is more prone to make a big mistake that might lose them the game. And I don't think it's going to be the Saints in this one. And it's very hard for me to pick against the 49ers in any kind of pick 'em. I do like this team. I like watching them play. I like the success they're on. I'm a big fan of Kyle Shanahan as a coach. Big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's really hard to pick against this team, but if I had to choose a team in a game that seems very equally matched like these two teams are, I have to go with a team that will not make mistakes, and it's going to be the New Orleans Saints. Breeze doesn't mess up. It's very rare that he makes a mistake. The defense is very, very well coached in New Orleans. The team just doesn't mess up. You can go look at 5 games with Teddy Bridgewater where they won 5. They can play perfect situational football. They know when they have to step up. And I know the 49ers don't mess up a lot, but I've seen them make mistakes. I've seen them throw interceptions that their defense saved them on. But in a game like this, I don't know if their defense is going to be able to bail them out without somehow making the Saints mess up, and the Saints won't do that. Because of the fact that I think the Saints won't mess up before the 49ers do. I think the 49ers make mistakes, whereas will make a mistake before the Saints, and that could be the game. I like the Saints winning this game. 23-20 is my final prediction for it. Only based on the fact that I think that the 49ers will make some kind of mistake and it will give the Saints the lead and inevitably the win. So that is my pick for that game. And then a game nobody gives a flying fuck about unless you're a Bengals or a Browns fan. The Browns hosting the Bengals. The Browns are 8.5-point favorites with an over-under of 40.5. I have the Browns winning 30-17 over Andy Dalton and the Bengals. This game's in Cleveland, and there's not much to say. Bengals suck. I know they just won, but they beat the Jets. Who cares? So let's go on to the next batch of 1 p.m. games. I don't care. This Tampa Bay, I'm only saying I don't care about this game now because I know it really triggers people in the comments. Like, they'll be like, dude, this guy doesn't even watch football. He doesn't care about Cleveland versus Cincinnati or Detroit versus Minnesota or Washington versus Green Bay. He said he didn't care about those games. Like, what am I supposed to do? Write a goddamn thesis on a 3-9 football team? No. God damn, that last video where I literally would just go, I don't care about this one. People were literally going, you just don't care about the Raiders versus the Jets? Like, it's just like, yeah, I don't, so? Anyway, the Colts and the Buccaneers. This is a game I truly did not care about because I believe neither one of these teams are going to be playoff teams. Both are sort of affected by mediocre quarterback play, which is sort of sad for Jacoby Brissett because he started off so hot, so white hot, and then the injury happened, and now he's probably playing a little bit to conserve, possibly maybe not getting hurt again. So I don't know. It's just a weird situation with the Colts. They're 6-6. The Texans are 8-4. The Titans are 7-5. It seems like those two are kind of flying away with it, as the Colts seem to sputter out of control. Tampa Bay is, of course, just a disaster, an unmitigated mess of turnovers and Jameis Winston. So, I don't know, take your pick. Who do you really want to win this one? I think the Colts are a little bit better football team, so I'm going to go with Colts 28, Bucks 24. Let's go to the next game. The Texans, huh? I don't even like the Texans anymore. I hate Deshaun Watson now. I hate DeAndre Hopkins now. I hate J.J. Watt even more than I did. I hate Roby. I hate their secondary. I hate their linebackers. I hate their linemen. I hate everything to do with the Texans. I hate Bill O'Brien's dumb chin. I hate the fact that they're cheaters. I hate that they live in Houston with the Astros, who are cheaters. All that being said, there's not much to say here. The Texans are at home against the Denver Broncos team that is, they're coming off a win against the Chargers, but it's one of the, who gives a shit? It's they're 4-8. Drew Lock's going to be starting against Houston, who's going to eat them apart. They're going to be playing really high off. They're going to be playing off of a very big high, beating the Patriots, their personal Super Bowl. All day long, give me the Texans over the Broncos, 31-17. This should be an easy win for Houston, who are 9.5-point favorites. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's a lot of bad games this week, by the way, folks. Jets and the Dolphins. Should I give a 20-minute explanation on who's going to win this shitty disaster? I like the Jets winning 23-20. Jets are 5.5-point favorites. The over/under of 44. So probably Miami's gonna win, right? Like, I picked this game. I can already feel it. Miami's gonna win 21-5, or 5-8 is gonna be the final of this game. That's gonna be the final. I don't know who wins. I shouldn't have picked this score. But the Dolphins are gonna get a safety and I don't know. This game sucks. 23-20. Give me the Jets. Oh, wow. What way to sandwich it in with a good one there, though. We got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. The Ravens are 5.5-point favorites. Very disrespectful to the home team Buffalo with an over-under of 43. I do agree that the Ravens are going to win this game. I have it at 24-20. It's mainly based on both these teams have very good defenses. Both of them have interesting offenses. The Bills' offense is a little suspect at times and is probably their Achilles heel at this point. The Ravens obviously have the best offense in the NFL. I think statistically right now it might be another team, but it's very it's apples and oranges at this point for them. So Lamar is seemingly the runaway MVP, depending on what Russ Wilson does the rest of the season. So it's kind of one of those things where it's two different teams, really. It seems like this game is going to be fun. The Ravens are going to play the Bills are going to play the Ravens very, very, very tough. But I know Buffalo struggles against the run. I think that's been their weakness on defense. They play the pass at a next to elite level. Almost nobody plays it as well, the throwing game as well as Buffalo. But you can run on them, and one of the things that the Ravens do is run very well. So I think that's going to be the major component of this game. The Bills are going to be able to the Ravens are going to be able to stifle Josh Allen, confuse him, throw him off his game. I actually expect maybe even him to turn the ball over, which has been rare lately for Josh. We'll see what Baltimore does with that. We'll see how Buffalo responds to the defense the Ravens are going to be bringing, how they're going to respond to Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, Gus. It's a whole big situation. I think the running attack and the combined with the play action and all the things the Ravens do well on offense overwhelms the Bills. Not by much. I think this is a 24-20 type game. Going to be very fun, very hyper competitive, but the Ravens take it in the end, 24-20. 4 p.m. games. There's only one good one in my opinion. We got the Jags and the Chargers. Who gives a shit? I say the Chargers win 21-14. Chargers are 3-point favorites, over under of 43.5. Who cares? This game I really don't give a shit about. The Tennessee Titans are 5-1 since Ryan Tannehill took over. They're averaging almost 30 points a game. The Raiders, on the other hand, have been they're having a very up and down, inconsistent type of season where one game they look really good and then the next they get blown out by the Chiefs like 40-3. So you don't really know what the Raiders are. They're a young team still trying to find an identity, still not completely built up in the way Gruden wants them to be. And you know, they're inconsistent, they're up and they're down, and the Titans are playing white hot football right now. Ever since they've gone with Tannehill, the team's playing out of its mind. They're 5-1 in their last 6 games since Ryan took over. They're averaging about 30. I think they continue this trend into Oakland, who doesn't have the greatest defense, who doesn't have the greatest, offense all the time. And when they do, it's very inconsistent. So we don't know what Raiders we're going to get. We know what Titans are probably going to show up based on the last 6 games. So until the bottom falls off of Tennessee, it's really hard to pick against them. Give me the Titans 28, Raiders 21. Hold on. Before we go over the Patriots and the Chiefs game, I am fully aware that we're probably going to lose this game. This is my upset pick of the week, if you will, because nobody else thinks I'm picking the goddamn. Nobody else is going to be picking the Patriots to win this game. We really, in all honesty, as a Patriots fan, we really don't stand much of a shot against the Chiefs. If you look at it from the outside looking in, we have no offensive capabilities. Our defense is really good. Our pass defense is particularly the thing that saves us. But we just got beat up on by the Texans. So that kind of exposes our defense a little bit, 28-22, whatever you want to call that, beat up on. But it's one of those things where I'm like, we're probably going to lose to the Chiefs, and we're probably going to be 10-3 at the end of this week. I would not be surprised if that was the outcome. I like the Patriots at home. I like the way that their defense is playing this year. Of course, obviously, I like the way that their defense is playing. That's a silly statement. I've seen a lot of inconsistencies out of the Chiefs. The Patriots were really the first team to expose that blueprint. The Lions chipped at it a little more, and then the Colts perfected it, and then the Texans ran it. So I could see the Patriots trying to run that blueprint against the Chiefs. I don't know how successful it's going to be. The Patriots offense is going to be the giant question heading into this game. If they can get it together and look how they looked against the Texans at the end of the game there, maybe the Patriots can pull off this win. I have them winning 24-21 because I will never bet against my team, but I understand if you do. So I don't have much to say because this feels like I'm making an upset pick with the 10-2 team. Patriots, again, they are what they are on offense or on defense. They're gonna have a tough time because the Chiefs aren't the greatest running team in the world. The Patriots will play the shit out of the pass. We'll get to your passing attack. We can stop that, but I wonder how we'll respond to the Chiefs running a game. We don't know how good it is. I personally just don't know. It's never been the thing that pops out at you. Their defense has never popped out at you. So we'll see how the Patriots respond here. Hopefully they respond well after a loss. Would not be surprised though if we're 10-3. Give me the Patriots though, 24-21 in a game I probably should pick the Chiefs. I don't have to even really talk about this next one because it's a pile of shit just like the other ones. The Pittsburgh Steelers play the Arizona Cardinals. The Steelers have turned their season around at 7-5. The Steelers are 2.5-point favorites, over under of 43.5. The Cardinals are 3-8-1, kind of just living around, doing what they can. Just, no expectations for this season for the Cardinals, so it's not that big of a deal. The Steelers, I believe they're the 6th seed in the playoffs right now, so they could somehow make the playoffs despite all the things that have happened to them. Losing Le'Veon, losing Antonio, Big Ben getting hurt, all the turmoil, and the Steelers are 7-5, sitting in the wild card for a playoff seed. Congratulations, Steelers. Your guys' defense is really fucking good. You're going to win this game because of your defense. Duck Hodges the Duck Boy seems to be pretty popular with the rest of the world. So you got a quarterback everybody likes finally, not Mason and Big Ben. So We're all rooting for Duck Hodges to do well, make the playoffs, Pittsburgh, because I want to be right about you guys making the playoffs. Even just win out, that'd be even better, because 11-5 for me is a giant W, because that's what I predicted Pittsburgh to go in the regular before the season started. So give me the Steelers 31-17. Sunday Night Football already. We're making progress through this video. I'm trying to make it a little shorter for all the people who like to complain some of the times. It's still going to be 20-30 minutes almost, so it doesn't really matter. The Seahawks and the Rams. This isn't going to be a good game whatsoever. I'm sick to death of the Seahawks being disrespected. Look at this. They're a 1-point favorite over the goddamn 7-5 Rams. The 7-5 Rams who can't beat anybody worth a fuck this season. The Rams have no offensive line. Jared Goff, it looks terrible without an offensive line. Gurley can't run. The defense, it just looks like an even bigger train wreck than it was last year. The Rams are not the same Rams as last year. They've also been exposed on how to be defeated. All you got to kind of do is play super physical, smash mouth football with the Rams, because they're a tiny little football team, especially on defense. Seattle is a much better football team than the Rams. Much better quarterback, much better coaching. The defense, the Rams will give up, the Seahawks will give up some points, some yards. So we could see a little bit of a high scoring, back and forth kind of game. It is a division rivalry game, so that always comes into account. But the Rams this year are just not the same Rams. The Seahawks play this game with a little bit more passion because of the last 2 years of success of the Rams, so it's a little bit more personal. I don't know, man. It just feels like the Rams just don't have that same magic, and it's been felt ever since they lost that Super Bowl, man. There's just been something up with this Rams team. I know the offensive line is getting old, and that's the biggest problem, really. That's really the only problem with the Rams. They need to fix up that offensive line, get some younger blood in there, and just young it up in there, get some new young talent, and protect Goff a little better. Because Clowney's coming to town, and he is not going to be very polite to Jared Goff. So, it just seems like this game is a classic mismatch that would have been a lot closer like a year ago. But not this time. Not with the way the Rams are playing. Not with the way the Seahawks have been playing this season. Incredibly, they're 10-2 off another strong win against the Vikings. Another big, large win amount of, just another good playoff team that they've beaten. So I like the Seahawks in this game at 24-21. Only reason it's so close is I respect division rivalries. Fucking -1 line for the Seahawks. So that's bullshit. Monday Night Football, we got a boring game that who gives a shit? Really, though. The Giants and the Eagles. Cool. It's a classic rivalry game, so there is respect to that. I will not be watching this because I have finals next week. So someone else can live react to this one. The Eagles are 8.5-point favorites with an over-under of 47. The game's in Philadelphia on Monday. I looked nothing into this game because neither of these teams are making the playoffs. The Eagles could if the Dallas loses and both of them are 6-7, and then the Eagles win and go 7-7. I don't care about the NFC East. That's the worst division in football. I got the Eagles winning 24-21 because the Giants, they're just a bad team this year. But I would not be surprised if the Eagles lost. So those are my picks for this week. My pick'em record for 2019. You can see every week we are 119, 72, and 1. Good for 62%. It's 61.9%. So I just went 62. That is 119 out of 192 games. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. So yeah, those are my pick'em, my picks record, or my pick'em choices. Yeah, we're gonna keep this under 25 minutes is the hope for this week. So thank you so much for listening to my Week 14 NFL Pick'em video. Make sure you leave your picks down below, your thoughts down below, whatever you want down below. I'll be sure to comment back as soon as I can. I'm pretty good about that. Well, I'll at least comment back a few times, then eventually I'll stop because it gets long. So there's hundreds of comments to reply to, and it gets to you. Also leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We're going to be doing lots of content this month, so be ready for that. We have some XFL content coming later this week. I hope people are ready for the XFL. I hope you're ready for more content this month. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Make sure you leave your comments down below, your picks down below, so I can get back to them and we can kind of see who does better this week. Hopefully we do better here on the channel than 9-7 than we did last week, so Let's hope for 14-2 or 13-3. I highly doubt that's going to be the case because of upsets. And yeah, thank you guys so much again for listening. This has been another Pick'em video produced by us here at the DRTV Studios. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Go Patriots, go Lions, even though you'll lose. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.